Here.
Corey loves.
Click start streaming.
We're gonna start streaming, guys.
The arm of JEC.
Okay.
We all are body parts.
Minimize that.
Maybe not the right, the left.
And click that. Start.
I now call this meeting to order at 3:10 p.m. on May 22nd, 2014. Okay, so first thing on the agenda is roll call. I'm here. Brian Miller.
Here.
Josh Gluck.
Here.
Imran Ahmed.
Here.
Emma Fontaine. Here. Chelsea Belows is currently unexcused. Emily Seitz is excused, and pro tempore Abdulaziz.
Here.
And we have quorum. Yes. Do we have any guests? Well, okay, you can name yourself.
Lindsay Beatrice.
Sammy Ahmed. Andy Rodriguez. Escada representative Adam Kowalski.
Yes. Okay. Additions, deletions to the agenda. All I changed was I took out introduction to grievances, and instead we're going to do the SOP review. So do we have any motions? Motion to accept the agenda.
I'll accept the additions and deletions.
Okay.
I move to delete the introduction to grievances and add the standard operating procedures review to the orders of today. No, to the new business.
Any objections? Seeing none, the agenda is approved. And approval of the minutes. We don't have any minutes for this week, so would anybody like to move to postpone?
I move to postpone.
Oh, I should call your names. Senator
Ahmed.
Yes.
I move to postpone.
Any objections? Seeing none, the minutes are postponed. And for open forum. So this week we're not doing vice chair elections, but we're going to do that at our meeting next week on the 29th. So we're going to be reviewing over everything that entails when we do the SOP review. And so if you're interested, just send me an email or talk to me. My number is in the email, so you guys can always text me to see when I'm in the office. And something else is, if anyone would like to chair a meeting ever, there's like a nice paper that I guess Abdul made or someone else did.
I made it.
Okay, Abdul made it. I can't take credit for that. So if you guys are interested in ever chairing a meeting, let me know. It's a really good experience to know how to do Robert's Rules of Order. And that's all I have for open forum. Anybody? No. Okay. We're going to be moving on to new business now. Okay, we're going to do an icebreaker. I hope you guys are excited because I love icebreakers, but I forgot to think of one for this week, so we might have a second one next week. But Senator Ahmed recommended we do 2 truths and a lie. Hopefully that doesn't take too long. We'll start with Ryan Miller. So Senator Miller. First say your name so like everyone can get to know each other.
Senator Ryan Miller. I will not delete that from my name. Let's see. I own a boat. Okay, can I not?
Okay, Senator Gluck.
I'm Josh Gluck. I'm from Florida. I have a twin brother. I have a 3.9 GPA.
Twin. How do you do in Florida?
No, Florida. If you need a 3.8.
You're fine. Oh, 5.1. Who's next? Senator Fontaine.
Okay. I've never been out of the country. I'm going to steal one of yours. I'm from Florida. And I have 3 cats.
You don't have 3 cats.
I said I have 3 cats.
Oh, sorry.
I have 3 cats. You know,
Maybe.
no. 3 cats.
You have 4.
No, she
Yeah,
doesn't.
oh, you
She
got
doesn't.
it. Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
I really need to listen. You're not from Florida.
You've never been out of the country. Well, you have been out of the country.
Yeah, I have been out of the country.
Yeah.
I'm from Florida.
So that was a
So
lie.
that was why.
Okay.
Have been. This game's confusing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, let's
I
learn
have been out of the
names. The goal of this is to learn names.
Okay.
Okay.
And you're-
I'm Imran Ahmed. Okay, let's see. I was born in Bangladesh. I won homecoming king in high school, and I tried out for the football team as a freshman in high school.
I don't believe you tried out for the football team.
I did.
You did get home from king.
I did.
Oh, you did.
I was born in Michigan.
Okay, I got mine now.
Oh, you do? Okay. Senator Miller.
Let's see. I own a boat. I have an older brother. And oh shoot, I already screwed up. And that wouldn't be too nice then. I'm screwing up all over. So let's go with I own a boat. I have a younger brother, and my left foot is bigger than my right.
You don't have a brother.
I do have a brother.
Yeah, I'm really
You
bad.
don't.
Your dad owns a
But I
boat.
have a kayak. My feet are the same size.
I was like, maybe you're just really weird. Okay, I'll go. Let's see. I speak 2 languages. I play 3 instruments. And my favorite color is pink.
I don't believe your favorite color is pink.
You don't play 3 instruments.
I do. I play. What was my second one?
Oh.
No, my first one. Oh, I don't speak 2 languages. I only speak English.
Okay.
Should we go around and do everyone?
I have 3 instruments.
I do play 3 instruments. I play the piano, organ, and handbells.
Go, Bill.
Alright. First one is I'm right-handed. Second one is I have a dog. And third one, I have an older brother and sister. You don't have a dog.
Mine on the
Which one? You don't have a dog. I do have a dog.
You're not right-handed.
I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
right.
Look at that.
That we should know. So preserving him.
That's good. You were doing that on purpose with the right.
You got me. You got me.
Okay, we're gonna do a different one next week. But at least does everyone know everyone's names pretty much for the most part? Sorry, audience.
You guys are
Maybe next week. Maybe next time. Okay, so next is the committee introduction. So you guys saw my introduction that I did at the Senate meeting on Tuesday about how we pretty much maintain the, you know what, I'll talk more about that when we do the SOP review, because you guys, hopefully you paid attention during my presentation in Senate.
Of course.
Maybe I'll text you. No, I hate when people do that. Okay, so next we're going to do a mock confirmation, which President Coco is not here right now.
You want Greg?
No, he's going to do my introduction. Someone else can just do it. That's
You
easy.
can have Andy do it.
Yeah, I'll have Andy do it.
Remember?
You're gonna be the president.
You're introducing her. Thank you, Representative.
You're like Coco.
Okay, well, I don't have the hiring packet in here right now. I will get it.
I'll try to do that.
Man, I've been looking up the whole time.
Yeah, no, I have that. Don't pay attention to
Give me
this.
Right?
Technically, since
No.
he's not.
Yeah, guys, that was my high school. I made this a long time ago. So no
We
judgment.
all have our embarrassing like high school,
Yeah.
middle school emails.
Can I like take this off the screen for a second?
Nope.
Or is it not, guys, don't,
No, it's not.
fun. You'll see my,
You sure we
you
can't
will.
judge here?
Wow, you're sending messages to yourself? That's weird.
No, I'm not.
Sending messages to me.
Okay, yeah, I did send a message to Ryan, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so Abdul, if you wanna take your spot. So while I'm doing the mock, Abdul will be chairing. Okay, so I'm just sitting over here.
Alrighty, so first thing I'll do is introduce the person that I hired that's going to be hiring or supervising the appointee. So today we have John Coco presenting his nominee. So, and then the things he would say is how many people applied for the position, how many people interviewed, and whatever else he wants to say.
That's it. Do you want me to pretend it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is with great honor that the 55th term executive branch leadership has decided to appoint Ms. Christian Trong as our new chief of staff. She has much experience in a great capacity to do work and learn and lead. We had 32 people apply. We interviewed the top 6 candidates. It was a very, very good pool of people, and it was an easy decision because Ms. Strong stood out above everyone else. So, without further ado,
My PowerPoint should be on.
Okay. So when you guys receive the hiring packet, stuff you're going to see is the appointment memo and all this other stuff. She'll talk about that. And PowerPoint.
Yes.
This one?
Yeah. So during confirmation, I'll have 5 minutes to present. So Abdul is.
Alright, so ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Hey guys, my name's Kristen Chong, and I was just appointed as the Chief of Staff for the 55th term. So a little bit about me. I'm currently a sophomore here at USF. My major is in biomedical sciences with a working minor in biomedical engineering. I'm a member of the Honors College. This is my second year in student government. My first year I was a senator for the College of Arts and Sciences, in which I was in the JEC committee as the vice chair, and I was also in the Committee on Rules and the Title VII ad hoc committee. I am dependable. I always like to be on time and punctual as much as I can be. I am reliable. If anyone asks me to do a task, I will always get it done. So pretty much more of my involvement, so you guys know, like in my 1 year here, I was the senator. I'm in there. I'm actually not. I missed a picture. I did tent days. I was part of the homecoming float. I volunteered at ABX. I also went to the Student Government Success Tour in Tampa Hall. That was just a visit from FIU. I was part of the Marshall Study Center kickoff in the fall semester, and I also went to USF Data Capital. So I definitely try to keep myself involved in student government. It's my first priority out of everything. So this is my schedule for the fall. Monday I have physics lab, then I have my honors class, and I'm meeting from 5 to 6:30. I have research, methods and design, physics 2, Orgo 1, and Senate. Oh, just kidding, I don't have Senate meetings. That was last year. So that's on Tuesday. Wednesday I have Orgo lab, and honors class I have another meeting from 5 to 7. Thursday is research methods again, physics 2, Orgo 1. Friday, Orgo all day, and then I volunteer from 12 to 4. So I'm available in between classes, kind of. And then I'm definitely available at night, Saturdays and Sundays. I have nothing to do. Yeah, so I schedule. Okay, so some of my objectives as chief of staff, one of them is communication within the branches, because we are one student government, so we need to all be united together. Impartiality and conflicts between the executive branch members. So any of the directors or associate directors, secretaries, if they have any conflicts, I'll be impartial to everybody. I won't favor my best friend over someone else. I have experience working with people as I was district treasurer in Key Club in high school, in which I oversaw 360 clubs and 20,000 members. So I know how to work with different kinds of people, and we worked on a board of 60, so we all had to work cohesively together. How much time do I have?
You have 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to my presentation.
So let's see. So after she finishes her presentation, we would enter a question and answer period. where you guys would ask questions. You guys have the job description on your iPads.
On the
So-
last page, there's also sample confirmation questions.
Yeah, so those would be questions you guys should ask. And you should start asking questions now.
But also, Adam over there has much experience with confirmations. So he'll probably chime in and help you guys for more job specific questions because those are general.
So feel free to ask the nominee questions.
To make sure I'm the best one for the position.
Mr. Miller?
Senator Miller, how would you handle someone not meeting your deadlines?
Well, I like to have a very direct approach with people. And I will tell them about how they didn't meet the deadline, explain to them how that's honestly unacceptable within student government because everyone has deadlines and you miss one deadline which means you miss another deadline. And so I would pretty much go up to them and talk to them. I'm ruthless.
Senator Ahmed?
How do you plan on balancing like your time with all this stuff? It seems like you're really busy based on your schedule. How do you plan on prioritizing everything, putting it all together?
Well, let me go back to my schedule for you guys. That's not it. Seriously. Okay. Well, I am taking a lot of classes, and they may seem hard, like orgo, but this past year, I was part of student government too. I took a lot of classes, I took actually a heavier load than this, and I'm still able to attend all of those events. And I can try and move around some stuff, like volunteering. Actually, I can't do volunteering. So pretty much this is my schedule, but I'll learn how to prioritize. I'll learn how to manage my time and make it so it does work. I'll make the 30 minutes happen. I'm not 30 minutes, I work for 30 hours a week. Just kidding. I'll make the 30 hours happen somehow. But I have to be here till midnight every night and go with no sleep. I will. But I get really cranky when I don't sleep.
So, yes, Josh, you have a question?
What do you hope to gain from this experience?
I hope to gain more involvement within student government, going from the legislative branch to expanding my knowledge of the executive branch, and that I'll be able to have more of a wholesome view of how student government operates.
No?
So what are your goals to achieve through this position?
My goals, one of them is to have more communication between the branches, so we work as a unit. Also to help any goals that President Coco or Vice President Rondell has, especially with outreach to students.
Any more questions? Any questions from the mock? So. Yeah. Any questions? Mr. Coco?
What does SG mean to you, and what should it mean to the student body?
Can you repeat the question, please?
What does SG mean to you,
Uh-huh.
and what should it mean to the student body?
Well, student government to me, student government behind school is my life. I basically spend most of my time here, so it's pretty much what that is. It's a good experience to learn, especially to know people and to build connections and network. And so I know several of the people in the office already, president, vice president, senate, president, and vice president, most of the senators I know. And student government to the students, we should be a place where students can come knowing that they can get, if they need help with anything, we're here for them, we're their voice, and that we want to represent them, which is shown through one of my objectives as outreach to students.
Oh, okay. Based on your schedule,
Yeah.
it seems pretty packed during the week.
Mm-hmm.
Most of your time is after business hours. How do you plan on, I guess, what if you have to make like an early morning meeting or a meeting where you had class? Like, how would you defer those duties since you have 30 hours and your main job is kind of doing meetings and things during business hours?
I would definitely try to get meetings in between the gaps that I have here. If anything, if I need to change my schedule, actually I won't disclose my number one priority. I would just put in the little gaps that I have right here. I have this. I'm not missing anything. So just between like all the little gaps, I'm free after 4:45 and business hours until like 13. I have an hour and 41 minutes there. I have little gaps within my day. And I will make whatever I need to make work. If I have to get up super early to have a meeting, like right here or right there, it'll happen. The 30 hours will happen. It's possible. Anything's possible.
Any more questions? Usually it's about 10 minutes, like questions, again, there are like 4 minutes left, so I want to have like a good balanced amount of questions. And
So-
yeah,
I should ask that question.
you try and at least give each candidate like an equal amount of.
I'll ask this question.
No.
SG's political nature. How do you handle an unethical, politically motivated delegated action?
Well, within teen government, everyone needs to be held accountable for the same thing. They have to be on the same evil playing field, and the person who gave the task needs to be called out on it, and they would have to report to the JEC chair because it's not fair for someone else to get an advantage because of people who they might know, or just because of a leadership position.
So do you guys have any more questions?
If you look on the page where it has a job description, you can kind of like base questions.
The job description is helpful to see what at least the minimum duties are, the roles and responsibilities. If you guys have any questions, usually after question and answer, you make a motion to end questioning and enter discussion. And discussion is where the candidate leaves and the audience members leave. In this case, it's okay, but unless they're like Adam stays, like the Escada member stays. So that would be a motion someone would have to make. Let's try someone new. Emma.
I make a motion to end questioning
And enter discussion.
and enter discussion.
Alright, so then I would ask for, do you have any objections? And if no one has any objections, then Kristen would leave the room if you want.
I'll just watch the live stream later for everything you guys have to say.
But you should stay to see how they do discussion. Because he won't be able to facilitate.
So, discussion is where you would discuss the candidates, pretty much their presentation, their responses, their goals, initiatives. Look through the packet a couple times if you need to. Look at their presentation. And discuss positives, negatives, things you like, things that you noticed from the candidate. So,
I mean,
Sammy,
I just thought her schedule seemed just a bit much to manage, the entire executive cabinet, along with the agencies and things like that. I would just take that into consideration before voting on this position, it's just time and availability.
Mr. Glock.
I would have to agree, but I know some people that I'm really good friends with that have this exact schedule, and or have multiple leadership roles and still manage to get straight A's.
Okay, so in that situation, while I generally would agree with what you had to say every time, the position does require 30 hours a week. So she has to log 30 hours a week. And so as you can see from the schedule, that's just clearly not going to happen.
So can't she have 2 in the morning?
What's that?
Can't she do it from 2 to 4 in the morning every day?
No.
During business hours?
Yeah, because anytime someone works outside of business hours or from home, they have to receive special permission from their branch head.
That wouldn't happen at all.
And no one is ever, even if somehow she pulled the wool over Coco's eyes and he approved it, Gary would see it on the timesheet and he would cut that off after the first time. So
It'd also be a good time to look over the resume and the job description, see if those qualifications are met, at least the bare minimum qualifications on the job description. And also another opportunity for you guys, if you guys missed the question, like for example, she didn't include her schedule and she didn't mention it, like you can bring her back in questioning. So, Sammy, yes, Kristen, but
Well, one thing that really concerned me was her schedule, and she mentioned how student government is the number one priority other than school, yet she wasn't willing to move her meetings or volunteering. So that makes you question if that really is her number one priority, or if somehow she's really good at talking and just got them to accept her with her schedule like that.
similar.
So I remember her saying that if there was an unethical political something or other, unethical politically motivated delegated action, she would report it to the Judiciary and Ethics Chair, which she is. So I find bias in
Not in this scenario.
This is like a mock.
no.
So this is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's not the Kristen, she's Kristen the
Yeah,
candidate.
she's
twin.
applying for an exact position.
Yes.
Just so that you guys can kind of see a run through before you
I'm not a senator.
get Greg and whoever else next Thursday. So kind of hard to base discussion off of a fake scenario. So I'll kind of go over some of the points that I myself and Gary had discussed. Just kind of some things that we have seen, particularly Gary over the last 5 years, myself over the last 2 years with JEC and confirmations. So what you have to realize is that they already went through an interview. So they're in front of you because they either met the basic qualifications or they exceeded them. Based on the opinion of the screening committee, that's the number one candidate, and that's why they're here in front of you. So your job overall is to make sure that they are going to exceed the duties of this position. So you have to take at face value, because they're already here in front of you, that they are going to be able to do this position. So now you're going to see what their motives are and what are they doing in student government. So in some cases, let's say there's an off week, like let's say the week of the 4th, and you're still appointing positions, but there's not going to be a meeting that week. Let's just say. So there could be somebody who gets appointed the week prior, and then the following Thursday there is no JEC, and then you have to wait until the following Thursday. So 2 weeks later, this person's been in their position, has been doing the position. So that's why you want to look at this list of questions that she made, because it's really good. So it's like, you've been in this position for 2 weeks. That's a perfect time for you all to say, okay, what have you been doing in this position for 2 weeks? Because they can start working right away. They may not get paid right away, but more often than not, as soon as they get, yes, you're the one we want, they're going to jump into their position right away, assuming they're going to get through JEC and then get through the final Senate confirmation. So you want to ask, like, all right, you've been in this position for 2.5 weeks. Like, let's see if you really gung-ho about this. What have you been doing? So ask that question. Time management, I would normally say, is not something that's up for you all to determine if this person is good at managing their time, unless it's a position that requires 30 hours a week. Like, if you guys hire someone with this schedule, someone's going to be coming back on her and having some serious conversations, because there's no way that a chief of staff could get the 30 hours in and do their job successfully with this schedule. A lot of times it has happened in the past where people will say, what's your major? Or how many credit hours are you taking? And then they say, I'm an engineering major and I'm taking 18 credit hours. Then they leave the room and you all start your discussion and someone freaks out because they know engineering is really hard because so-and-so, who was their friend, did it and they struggled and they had to spend a lot of time at the library. But 18 hours in engineering for one person is not 18 hours in engineering for another person. So if they tell you that this is what they're doing to manage their time and they have the availability in their schedule, then you have to take that at face value, not at your face value. You're measuring them on their character and not your perceived, perception of them. So that can't scare you, essentially. Other organizations, if she's got every day from 5 to 7 and she's not required to be at Senate, as long as there's nothing that she's missing as a part of her position that requires her to be doing something from 5 to 7, you can't say, well, she's involved in 3 other organizations, so I don't think she can handle this position. If she tells you that I'm going to drop these 2 organizations and make student government my #1 priority. So involvement is another thing where you can't really say, I think they're over-involved. That's not for you to determine. That's for that person to determine. And if you find that in the first month or 2 months or somewhere longer down the line that this person is not meeting the basic expectations of their position because they're over-involved or they're dedicating more time to other things, and if it's academics, that's a separate conversation. But if it's like other organizations and they're failing to get things done, then you can go back and have that conversation with them and say, look, this is what you said you were going to do. It looks like you're still involved in these other organizations, and if this continues and you're not able to meet us here, which is the minimum, then we're going to have to either reprimand you or relieve you of your duties, and we'll find someone else to fill the position. So again, it's not a re-interview for the position. It's you are assessing them to make sure that they are going to be a good fit for student government. Again, just from an HR perspective, no personal questions. You can't ask them how old they are, what their sexual orientation is, if they're in a relationship, just stuff like that. Not that I don't think I've ever seen that since I've been coming to these meetings. And then it's always happened where someone says, what superhero do you most associate with and stuff like that. The silly questions don't really do anything. No one's ever been not hired because they chose Batman over Superman. And so they kind of take away, in my opinion, from the seriousness of the interview and your ability to truly assess if they can do the position or not. So if that's something that you're okay with, then I'll say okay. But generally, it's something that we encourage you to shy away from because it's not giving you any pertinent information to be able to discuss. Any questions about anything?
They said that they're going to drop an organization.
Sure.
Could we then, could we do something? Would that say, I would believe that would say something about their character.
Not necessarily. So, and I thought of another point. But to answer your question, so interviewed a candidate the other day for a position, and he said, well, I have this other job, but this job that I'm interviewing for is really going to advance me in terms of what I want to do for my career. And a lot of times people, and I'm sure some of you all are in here to get the experience because you want to go to law school or you want to do something, and this direct experience in the student government is going to help you do that. Whereas they have a job at Publix, no offense if you work at Publix, it's a great place, but it may not necessarily help you if you want to be a media design manager and you're just a cashier. So I would say if they're like, yeah, I'll just blow that off, then be like, and they're just gonna blow it off, like, what's their character like? And would they do that to us? But if it's like, I've already been in communication with my current employer, they know that I'm interviewing for this position, and if I get it, then I'm probably gonna either reduce my hours there or just step down altogether so that I can focus solely on this position. That's the kind of stuff that you want to be able to look at. Another thing, I talked about major shouldn't matter from a time perspective, but also major shouldn't matter from a position perspective. So now if you have somebody that is interviewing for CFO, and they don't have any. Ideally, you would like to find someone who is like a business major or an econ major. You know what I mean? But if someone's an engineering major and they want to be director of programming, and they've proven to you through their interview that they've got the skills that are needed, then you can't say, well, engineering has nothing to do with programming, so I don't think we should hire this person. So again, you're going based off merit, what they're presenting to you, what they've done in the past. That makes sense? Any other questions for me?
Okay, let's say an example where, let's say, your best friend is coming for confirmation,
Sure.
and like using personal like situations
Sure.
to say how great they are and how much a great job they're a great friend and stuff.
So, in that situation, that's something where you all, and particularly you, in that discussion, you need to be able to say, I think that's great supporting information that this person is either reliable or that you've been able to establish a positive relationship with that person. But if someone comes in here and let's say someone has a personal vendetta against one of the interview candidates because either they broke up or they just know someone through someone else and they know not good things about this person, there's no way that information that person is using can be used against the candidate because it's just hearsay. You don't have any prior knowledge of this person. If everyone in here knew the candidate and knew that they made some huge mistake and you were all perfectly aware of that, then that would be an okay example. You're like, well, this person stole from the last office he worked in, so I don't think we want to hire him for that reason. But if you're like, you have one person that's like, hey, I hear that person stole from another office, but I have no idea if it's true, and no one else has ever heard that, then you can't use that information against the candidate. Does that make sense? Or he's a, short temper. I don't know, whatever the case may be. Cool.
So, I'll go back there. But, okay, so from the discussion that we had, then we would move into voting procedure and what's a motion to vote?
It would be a motion to vote.
Okay, would someone like to motion to vote?
A motion to vote.
Senator Ahmed? Yes, okay. So now we're just going to go through, you just say yes or no. Senator Ahmed?
Yes.
Senator Fontaine?
Yes.
Senator Gluck?
No.
Senator Miller?
No.
So in the case of a tie, the chair, which was me, I would abstain, but since we're in a tie, I would vote, right? Let's get the vote of the, well, okay, normally you wouldn't do this, but I'm curious to hear what Adam, how would you vote?
I'll go no.
Andy?
I don't know.
Sammy?
I'm a yes.
Lindsay? No.
He's just going to
Abdul?
tie. I see right through you.
Oh wait, Lindsay, I'm sorry.
I said no.
Abdul?
I would say no.
Oh, good. Oh, I thought it was going to be another tie.
Like,
Now, are you going to be sitting on all the committees?
yeah, I'm not gonna be voting. Like, I don't know.
But you're not going to, like Scott did, you're not going to do that.
But
Because like sometimes Scott would fill in like in order to meet quorum when he was pro tempore.
it's just to sit in for quorum. That's
Okay.
sort of pretty much.
Okay.
Well, like I can't vote.
Okay, so within, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Do y'all understand why they asked the audience to leave? Why they asked the guests in the room to leave?
Because they can talk about what we said in discussion. Which public room?
Yeah. So it's really for confidentiality of the candidate and just so that you all feel comfortable in being able to speak freely and not have to worry about someone's BFF sitting in the room and let's say they don't get it and then that person goes back to the candidate and says, well, Andy said all this about you and so it's Andy's fault you didn't get this.
But I said that and they said it was public record. Anyway.
Well, no matter what, they'll find out at the time, so you
Right.
can't speak freely at the time.
Right. So you all feel comfortable and you are making a sound decision.
Okay.
And the confirmations won't be live streamed, just the
No.
non-confirmation meetings. Because
This is just because it's like a training, so that's why it's live streamed, but next week when we have our meeting, we have 4 confirmations, it won't be live streamed, so it's only what we talk about is here, and then I'll also be in the minutes,
Okay.
which is public records via request. So within our committee, I would be the chair and I would vote because we had a tie, and I would vote no. Because, well, first off, the schedule, even if she could handle it, like that's still really crazy.
Yeah.
And so, I'm trying to think of what else. Then, I don't know, would you walk out there and tell her that she
Yeah,
didn't
you would
get
be
it?
the chair.
Oh, I would.
I'll probably get the door for you.
Okay.
With
So-
bad news.
I would walk out there, tell her that she was not confirmed.
With the vote count.
The vote count. But if she does get confirmed, then she'd walk in, and when she walks in, I'll stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how confirmation goes. Do you guys have any questions about that? No. Okay, so do you guys know why I sent the hiring packets out to you guys?
So, yeah.
Yes, precisely, Senator Miller. Because it's really important that when you guys come into the confirmations, you know exactly what the position entails. And that's also why I wrote up those questions, so you guys kind of have like your mind flowing. And most times I'll have a list of questions myself that I would ask them that's more job specific. But if you guys think of any, like, of course, like write them down beforehand, so then when you come in, you can ask them. So it could be based on the job description, or on if you have a question about like a past job that they had, like what experience they have from it, or what experience they have. So, any questions about confirmation? Adam, do you have anything to add?
You're good.
Okay. So next week we'll have 4 confirmations, and so I'll be sending the hiring packets out to you guys for those. At least now you know chief of staff pretty well. So you just did that one.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing I would add is if you ever have something that you feel is very pertinent to the discussion that you didn't get to ask the candidate, don't be afraid to voice up and say, can we bring the candidate back in for this question? Or, hey, I really wanted to ask this question. Did I miss this piece of information? And if anyone else is like, yeah, that's a good question, or no, I didn't catch them saying anything about that, then definitely let Kristen know and she can bring the candidate back in.
Yeah. When we're in discussion, like feel free to say anything, because we want to make sure that what we're doing is the best for student government, for the students. Okay, so now we're moving on to SOP review. I didn't send that out, but we're just going to go through it in committee today. And this will also explain to you more of what vice chair does. Okay, so the first change is from 2013 2014, right? Yeah, 2014 2015. I'll be sending this out to you guys so we can vote on it next week. So constitutional conformity and authority. You guys can read that. I'll let you read it. I changed one thing at 1.3.1 to supermajority vote instead of majority. And I added 1.4, which amendments to the standard operating procedure of the Judiciary and Ethics Committee may be made by a supermajority vote of the president and committee members at a regular meeting of the committee. I basically took that clause out from another SOP. Those talk about meetings, quorum. I'll send this to you guys so you have it, but I'm just explaining the changes that I did make. For attendance, I pretty much just changed senators may be excused from a committee meeting by the committee chair within 24 hours of a regularly scheduled meeting. So if you're not able to make it, just make sure I know like more than 24 hours in advance, and if it's a special meeting, 12 hours, and that it's in a written format, so like an email. So then I know, and I have, I guess, proof if there's anything ever where it's like, oh, you didn't come, I know why. We struck out committee members, well, I struck out committee members will provide a short report of their progress on assigned duties each week, either during the committee meetings or in print to the Judiciary and Ethics Committee Vice Chair. It was more of, we never did that before, so, and there's not really much point to do it. That talks about the committee chair, and here's vice chair. So any of you guys who are interested in being vice chair, these would be your responsibilities. Chairmanship of Judiciary and Ethics Committee meetings in the absence of the chair. So if I'm not here, I would let you know. And you would be chairing the meeting. You would assist me in the completion of any of my duties, and then anything else that I would delegate to you. We struck out the oversee the submission and review process of the committee members' weekly reports, because we don't do that. This is about Senate committee minutes, pre-investigational procedure. So all of these grievance sections, we're doing an entire training on that next week, because that could honestly be a meeting in itself. And it's almost 4 o'clock already. But I'll be sending this out to an email for next week so you guys can look over it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me at our next meeting, because we'll be having discussion and we'll be voting on all of this next week. Are there any questions about this right now? No? Okay.
When will you be sending this out?
I'll probably be sending it out. The latest will be Tuesday. That's the latest. I should be sending, I mean, I could honestly send it out this week, but I feel like if I send it out this week, you forget, because I know I would. So I'll send it out Monday. How about Monday? Is that enough time for everyone, or would you prefer to have it earlier? I can send it earlier.
I think that works.
Okay, because then we'll have the 4 confirmation hiring packets in that too. Okay, so are there any announcements from anybody?
Rules committee at 6.
Yes, rules committee at 6. Andy?
Don't forget that we have a Senate meeting next Tuesday. So starting after next Tuesday, it's going to be a little bit more sporadic, and at maximum every other week. But I think there's once or twice where we have 2 weeks in a row. So just remember that next week.
If you guys see President Coco around today, it's his birthday. And then tomorrow is Senate President Andy's birthday. And it's tomorrow's Adam's last day here. He's leaving to go to Tennessee, right? Yeah, Tennessee. Okay. So for next week, we'll have vice chair elections. So if you're interested, let me know. You don't have to do a PowerPoint if you don't want to, but I did one. So I'm not saying they get to do what I do. If you guys want to do a PowerPoint, you can. Just email it to me in advance so that I'm able to get it all ready for our meeting. Any other announcements? No? Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Oh, yeah. I'll have to motion.
Ask them.
Any motions to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Senator Miller.
Senator Miller, I move to adjourn the Judiciary and Ethics Committee meeting on May 22nd, 2014.
The meeting is adjourned at 3:58 p.m.
You have that?
Click on the Explorer.
Yes, I guess I will be doing that.
Yes.